We're in the Big Easy in today's video. Who dat? Welcome to Lurks Lessons, a monthly channel where I explain all you need to know and how to become a sports fan of a professional or collegiate team. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing by clicking the button below. Today, I'm going to cover 5 basic categories to get you prepared in becoming a Saints fan. So feel free to pause or rewind the video at any time. Alright, let's get to it. For my name is Jeff Lurkey, and here's what you need to know and how to be a New Orleans Saints fan. Located along the Mississippi River in southern Louisiana, the Saints play in the National Football Conference, or NFC, of the National Football League. Their division is the South Division that they share with 3 other teams. Their colors are old gold, black, and white. The team has been playing their home games at Mercedes-Benz Superdome since 1975, that has a seating capacity for 74,295 fans. The team was founded on November 1st, 1966, which is significant because November 1st is also All Saints Day. This is why the nickname for the team are the Saints, because New Orleans has a large Catholic population. With the Saints becoming the 16th team in the league, the NFL had an even number of teams and were split into 2 conferences, with 2 divisions each. Eastern, with Capital and Century, and Western, Central and Coastal. When the American Football League merged with the NFL in 1970, the Saints were placed in the NFC West Division. It wasn't until 2002 when they were placed in the newly formed NFC South during the NFL's divisional realignment. Throughout their history, the Saints had long stretches of losing seasons but have recently grown into a dominant presence in the league. The Saints have 1 Super Bowl victory out of 1 appearance, 1 NFC Conference Championship, 7 divisional championships, and 12 playoff appearances. They also have 2 retired uniform numbers and have 4 members in the NFL Hall of Fame. Fun fact, the Saints' rallying chant of "Who dat" can be heard everywhere in New Orleans and amongst fans across the country. History tells us that on September 1st, 1983, a sports director from WVUE-TV broadcasted a video that they captured of a high school football team in the city chanting a pre-practice phrase of "Who dat." 3 days later, the Saints hosted the St. Louis Cardinals for their home opener of the '83 season. The chant of "Who dat? Who dat? Who dat say they gonna beat them Saints?" were echoed throughout the Superdome. Since 2010, it has now become a pregame ritual that the entire stadium chants "Who dat" after the coin toss. Now, I'm going to give you some standout players and coaches that you need to know so you can impress your fellow Saints fans. On the offensive side of the ball, I have number 9, Drew Brees, quarterback from Purdue University. Brees was drafted number 32 in the 2nd round of the 2001 NFL Draft by the San Diego Chargers. It wasn't until 2006 that Brees became a Saint due to free agency. It was under his arm that the Saints had won their first ever Super Bowl victory and is by far a huge fan favorite of the franchise. On defense, I got Hall of Fame linebacker number 57, Ricky Jackson. Drafted 51st in the 2nd round of the 1981 draft, the Pitt alum became a key member of arguably the best linebacking core in NFL history, who were known as the Dome Patrol. The 6-time Pro Bowler became the Saints' first player to be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame in 2010. For special teams, the Saints had the best kicker to ever play in the NFL, who is number 7 place kicker Morton, the Great Dane, Anderson. The Michigan State alum was drafted 86th in the 4th round of the 1982 draft and holds NFL records of the most career points scored and most games played. In 2017, he earned a well-deserved spot in the NFL Hall of Fame. Finally, at the coaching position, it's an easy pick. Sean Payton has been credited as the most successful coach in Saints franchise history because his accomplishments, which include 3 NFC championship games, 7 total playoff berths, 5 divisional titles, and their first Super Bowl victory in 2006. It's easy to see why the name Payton is a household name among Saints fans. Now that you have some names memorized, let's get you set with a memorable play that has etched its spot in Saints lore. It's what I like to call snapshots. Snapshots are memorable moments in sports that are summarized by catchy phrases to easily commemorate the play at hand. Every sports team has them, so which one should you know as a Saints fan? Well, there's been a few quite recently to choose from, but in today's lesson, we'll focus on the block punt. On September 25, 2006, the Saints hosted the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football for their first home game of the season. This was also the team's first home game in the recently renovated Superdome after a year of not playing in the stadium since Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans on August 29, 2005. On their opening drive, the Falcons were forced to punt as they faced 4th and 10 on their 28-yard line. Safety Steve Gleason got through the line of scrimmage untouched and blocked the Falcons' punt. As the ball danced backwards towards the end zone, Saints defensive back Curtis DeLoach fell on the ball for a touchdown. Not only did the Saints go on to beat the Falcons 23-3 on national TV, but the city felt reborn after what they've experienced from the national disaster. A statue of Gleason blocking the punt named Rebirth is currently outside the stadium, immortalizing the moment. However, another reason on why the block punt was so bittersweet was because it was against the Saints' arch rival, the Atlanta Falcons. Only a 7-hour drive on I-65 and I-85 separating the two cities, the rivalry began back in 1967 when the Saints became the 16th team in the league. When the two teams were placed in the NFC West Division in 1970, they began to play each other twice ever since. They were also placed together in the NFC South in 2002, and currently have 9 divisional titles combined. The current overall record is in favor of the Falcons, but let's be honest, that gap is closing fast. The series between these two teams are the oldest and most established rivalry in the NFC South Division. They've also shared many of the same players throughout their history. For example, our boy kicker Morton Anderson, quarterback Bobby Hebert, and Pro Bowl wide receiver Joe Horn all had seasons wearing either jersey. There are even family coaching ties between the rivalry. Longtime Saints head coach Jim E. Mora's son, Jim L. Mora, coached for the Falcons, and Saints head coach in the 80s, Bum Phillips, had a son named Wade, who had stints with both teams respectively. When it comes to football in the Deep South, there's not a more heated NFL rivalry than between Who Dat and Rise Up. Even though the Falcons have been to the Super Bowl twice as much than the Saints, at least we're 1-for-1 in Super Bowl victories, while the Falcons, they're 0-2. Boom! Who Dat? Anyways, let's recap. The Saints play in the NFC South Division. They have 1 Super Bowl victory out of 1 appearance. Numerous record-holding athletes and coaches. The block punt is sacred, and you really dislike the Atlanta Falcons. So, you're now all set to begin your Saints fandom journey, and let's be honest, you made the right decision. Not only are you now becoming a part of a die-hard fan base, but you're choosing to come alongside the greatest and grittiest city in the U.S. Who dat? Who dat? Who dat say gonna beat them Saints? Hey guys, thanks for watching today's Lurks Lessons video. Please subscribe to the channel and also leave some comments on what other cool things Saints fans really need to know. Also, check out the description below to see updated stats that were shown in today's video. Alright guys, we'll see you next time.